Breaking news tonight on the ugly campaign against more than 1 million Christians in the Middle East. The terror group ISIS is now forcing Christians from one of the world's oldest communities and destroying some of their heritage in the process. And now the Pope is speaking out on this. The Church of Mary in Iraq's second largest city is now abandoned after militants closed it and brought down the cross that once stood on its rooftop. They gave Christians a Saturday deadline and the following choice. They could leave, they could convert to Islam, or they could die. And as thousands of the faithful leave everything to run for their lives, literally with just the clothes on their back in some cases, the following messages were scrawled on their empty homes. Translated, they read, quote, "Long live the Islamic State in Iraq and the Levant. Muslims are happy with the return of Mujahideen. God is greater." Tony Perkins is the president of the Family Research Council. And this is really shocking. The Pope came out and said that Christians are being persecuted. The Iraqi prime minister is calling on the world to stand as one against this. And that not only are they forcing the Christians out, but they are committing horrific and violent crimes against them as they do.
Correct. Megyn, I'm not sure what's more shocking, the atrocities of ISIS or the silence of the Obama administration. And to put this in perspective, as you set it up, we're talking about a region of the world that is home to the longest surviving continuous communities of Christianity. Actually, it was two of Jesus Christ's own disciples that took the gospel to this region of the world, and they've been there ever since. 10 years ago, 2003, prior to the Iraq War, there were about 1.5 million Christians in that area. Now it's estimated that it's less than 300,000. And as you pointed out, they're given a choice. They can either convert to Islam, they can leave, they can pay an impoverishing tax, or they die. That's the choice of freedom under Islam.
You looking at the facts, so thousands of the Christians leave the city, and then they decide to torch an 1,800-year-old church. Then not only are they forcing the people out, committing violence against them as they do, but then they're torching churches that are 1,800 years old. I mean, the history and the total lack of respect for anything that isn't theirs.
Megyn, we shouldn't be surprised. This is not the first time they've done this, and it's not the first religion they've done it, although Christianity is now the most persecuted religion in this part of the world. In particular, but our administration remains silent on these issues. I mean, it's not just in Iraq. We've seen it in Iran, where we've had Pastor Abedini, who has been in prison there for almost 2 years. We've seen it recently with Miriam Ibrahim, the 27-year-old mother who gave birth in a prison, the wife of an American citizen. The administration said nothing about her until the very last minute when there was international outcry. This is what's very concerning here.
But let me ask you, what should they be saying? Because obviously the administration is now at least well aware of ISIS and the damage that it is doing in Iraq. And, you know, they've got their plan with the 300 advisors and so on going over there. But should they be specifically calling attention to this latest horrific realm of violence they're unleashing?
Yes. I mean, we have a history doing this. We've been doing this since World War II and before that. In fact, in the last couple of decades, we've been working to defend Muslims around the world. We've gotten involved. We've been involved. We've spoken out internationally against the religious persecution. And there's a reason for that. Because where there is religious freedom and tolerance, there is also free markets, prosperity, which means greater stability in those regions. This is very dangerous. This administration has been silent continuously when Christians have been persecuted. And I'll tell you what I think is at the bottom of it, is this administration is more concerned about offending Islamic states and Islamic nations than they are defending the long-standing policy that America has always had, that religious freedom is a human right, not just an American right.
It's terrible when you hear the actual facts of what's happening to these poor folks. I mean, no mass has been said in the city of Mosul since June 22nd, breaking 1,600 years of tradition. It's incredible. Tony Perkins, thank you for being here.
Thank you, Megyn.
Well,